Welcome, everyone, to tonight's Star Wars 5th edition one-shot. My name's Brian, aka the Bearded Nerd. I am your game master tonight. I'm very excited to be here with this awesome cast. And this will be a bit of a unique experience because this is a bit of a homebrew. And what I love most is homebrew. So tonight we're going to dive deep into Brian's homebrew world. So let's go. Do you want to go with announcements first and then player introductions?
Sure.
Awesome.
All right. So a little bit of announcements. Of course, we are sponsored by Session Zero Clothing that makes D&D inspired streetwear absolutely beautiful. You can use the code ORDER at checkout for 15% off with them, as well as Norse Foundry, who makes beautiful artisan dice. You can use the code TIO15 at checkout for 15% off. And we've got roaming player gear with our own amazing .dm. You can use the code Carnaby20 for 20% off their Dice Tower trade combo set. And of course, we've got Mithril Armory, who just finished a fantastic Kickstarter. If you missed out on that, you can still stay tuned for that because they've got these amazing Dive Newt things coming out, and we still have our giveaway going on our Instagram right now. So you can head over to our Instagram and enter a giveaway to win some 3 sets of their Die of Newt, as well as their Die of Newt dice box, a foldable metal 1020, and some sketch dice. That's right. So go over to our Instagram, tag a couple of friends, and be entered to win that. We will be drawing the winner Monday. So hurry on over and do that. We also have a special sponsor for tonight's game, since it's Star Wars, Nerdy EDC. Let me type that in the chat. Hold on one second. Nerdy EDC was kind enough to donate us some beautiful table art mats that are Star Wars themed. So we've got, of course, this one. So we've got 3 set up for giveaways tonight. This one here, nice. Pretty cool. So the first winner will be able to pick which one they want out of the 3. Then the second winner will be able to pick the last 2, and the third winner will, of course, get what's left over. But they are all beautiful and they are very cool. So I will. Let's see. What do we want our giveaway word to be?
Trying to think. Maybe what we can do. Grid. That will be.
Ooh, grid. Okay. All right. All right. So if you enter GRID, G-R-I-D, in the chat, you will be entered in to win one of these beautiful table mats by Nerdy EDC. We will be drawing that before our break at the beginning, or before our break, and then we will also draw one at the end of our break and one at the end of the show. So stick around for that and enter GRID in the chat for your chance to win. Other than that, we appreciate all of your bits and subs. If you like watching us here on the Initiative Order and you want to help us out to where we can make more amazing content like this beautiful one shot here, this is how we do it. So, yeah, bits and subs, we love them. I think that's it for announcements.
Awesome. Well, y'all, before I introduce really quick, I really want to first and foremost thank the Initiative Order for hosting this and allowing me to GM. Really appreciate it. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, do all the things. And with that being said, we're going to start the introductions. Let's start with April. Who are you playing tonight?
All right. Hi, everybody. Again, my name is April Hill. You can find me at stiletto_assassin on Instagram and stiletto DM on Twitter. Tonight, I am playing Kim. Wonder what kind of race I am. That's right. It's a Gungan. So I am playing a Gungan monk tonight. And it has a little bit of a twist. We'll see what happens. I'm excited about it.
We'll definitely see. Okay, well, thank you for that. Let us go with Sara.
Hi, friends. My name's Sara. I cosplay and do all sorts of fun gaming stuff, so it's great to be here. Thanks, guys, for having me. I'm waving at all the little squares. It's like Hollywood Squares, but like way better. And tonight I will be playing Prii, a variation of my own OC, who is a Twi'lek that has left Ryloth as a merchant when the credits weren't really coming in like she wanted, and turned to slicing. So we'll see what she does with that.
Well, thank you for that. We'll see definitely how slicing will play a major role in this, or a minor. We don't know. Logan, my friend.
Hi, everybody. I'm Logan, also known as DM_screening. Today, I will be playing CT-3711, designation Bash, a clone trooper fighter.
Awesome. Any specific clone trooper? Do you want to keep that
secret? Yeah, we'll keep it secret for now.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, my friend.
Hello, everybody. My name is Karina. You can find me on Twitter, LOVDAYS_. And my Instagram is linked on there. Tonight, I will be playing Zova Kol. They are a Morel Allen. I don't know how to say it, but it's fine. Blade Master fighter. And this is my first stream ever. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Brian, the Bearded Nerd. As I said before, you can find me on Instagram at the Bearded Nerd Media. I will be the game master tonight, as I said before. Again, appreciate everyone for being here. And without further ado, let's begin. All right. Welcome, friends. The year is 22 BBY. The Galactic Republic has been facing tensions unseen before, as many systems begin to separate and either become neutral factions or even join the Confederacy of Independent Systems. And as this tension is rising, an organization that has worked closely and independently of the Galactic Republic, known as the Grid, has been securing intelligence, analyzing data, and trying to understand what is truly behind the CIS. Tonight, a couple of adventurers roam around Coruscant, finding their way to the Moshi Bar. One specific individual, though, is already there. CT, aka Bash, would you like to describe how your character looks?
Yeah, so Bash is wearing white plastoid armor underneath or over a black bodysuit glove, with blue markings that extend from like the hand all the way up the arm to the elbow and then up to the shoulder. His helmet as well is marked along where it's not like marked with black, is marked with blue along the side and the face as well. Bash is wearing a gray pauldron, and then right where the pauldron hits the shoulder is blue, as well as a comma that is gray and then lined very loosely with that same color of blue. He's carrying from dual holsters on his hips to DC-15s, and then on his shoulder is carrying his favorite, the Westar M. What is it? Westar M15, I believe. M5. Westar M5, because I did my homework.
There you go.
No other features can be seen other than the armor, of course.
Okay. Would you say that would you have a hood up or anything like that, or are you can folks see your face?
My helmet takes. I don't remove my helmet, so my helmet would be up, or my helmet would be on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, unless they could see through the visor, they wouldn't be able to see my face.
Okay. So you have been told and instructed by your commanding officer at the grid that you are to meet certain grid operatives at the Moshi Bar. The reason that you're supposed to meet there is because no one really knows that the grid exists, only to certain Republic, or rather High Galactic Republic figures. Think of it like a covert ops type of organization. And as you're given this intel and this information, you kind of remember the primary instructions that you have, which is to deliver a specific and rather escort a specific high profile character to your home planet, your rather the headquarters in Camino. So as you're receiving these orders and you're traveling through kind of the more civilian-esque part of Coruscant that most people want to see, you start to make your way down to one of the many layers of the underworld. You see different vendors selling different meats and kind of street food and whatnot. You get the different aromas of certain spices, and you see in the Galactic Basic, you have kind of all the different marketing and advertising that would be in like brightly colored neon lights. I mean, it's a 24/7 type environment. Something is happening at all times. In addition to this, you hear some strange communication, some different languages. You hear someone that says, "Want to buy some death sticks?" and then kind of walk away. And as you're walking and as you kind of capture that and you keep walking, to you probably don't know what a death stick is, but that stands out to you as you keep walking. You enter the Moshi Bar, and this Moshi Bar has a very diverse array of individuals. You see one Volpi working on a WA-7 waitress type droid and trying to see, you hear some subtle curses or something that you think is a curse as they're trying to reprogram and they're just getting frustrated. And as different individuals ask for drinks, you see some bits playing music in the background. You see some Devorian and Ithorian gambling in the corner, some Rhodians that are heavily drinking, to the point where when you walk past them, you just smell the stench of alcohol. And as you enter, what would be your action?
I'd look around and see if there's anybody that would look to be my contact. If not, I would probably just go off into the corner and kind of saddle up to the side and just wait and watch as people walk in to see if there's anybody that stood out to me.
Okay. At this point, I would like Zova, Prii, and Kim to go ahead and roll a d20, like if you were to roll an initiative, and let me know what your numbers are. Okay.
6.
Okay.
Love you, Mama.
Let me take a
9.
9. Okay. All right. And then Prii, what did you get?
A 20.
Oh, okay.
God.
Awesome.
On the night, I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, I like the energy. All right. Prii, since you rolled the highest, you have been at the bar for a while, scoping out different individuals. You are used to analyzing and understanding certain profiles, and you can pretty much spot something from a mile away. You see an individual in what seems to be unique armor. And it's essentially what your handler described to you when you were given your assignment. What would be your action?
So I would like to watch him for a little bit, since I'm still new, and his armor looks familiar to me. And noticing the little nuanced pieces and the different markings and colorations, I would sit and watch him for a little bit, watch his behavior and who he talks to, and seeing him also in the same place as me, kind of just looking around, kind of feeling things out.
Mm-hmm.
I would make my way over to an adjacent bar stool.
Okay.
Take a seat. And did my contact provide a name or serial number, or how much information do I have from my handler?
So from your handler, that you would know that they go by some connotation of bash or the basher or something of that, kind of given a little bit of a unique settlement here. It seems as if from your handler, it was one of the two that they, based upon their information, they received one of the two. You don't know necessarily if it's one specifically, but those were the two identifiers that were given.
So I would, with that in mind, kind of play it cool, my drink. Bash?
The helmet just kind of turns. Like, the helmet's like looking and scanning, like you looking around, you turns generally in your direction, just nods.
I'm Prii. Can I sit?
Yes.
Make my way. Try to make as much of a connection as possible through the helmet and his very stoic nature, from what I can gather. Is there anything else that you know about this mission that might help us?
All information that I was given will be given once the full team is assembled, as per my orders.
The orders have me skeptical. The credits are very, very handsome. But you can't blame me. I'm still new here. New-ish. And I like to know everything that I'm dealing with before going in. And if there's any information that you were given that I was not privy to, please be inclined to share. But if you're gonna play by the rules, you seem like the type, then that's fine too. But would you say I can trust you?
Ma'am, good soldiers follow orders. All the information will be given once the full team has been assembled, and all information is accurate as per your handler, unless your handler is untrustworthy.
Okay. Take a sip of my drink, feeling more confident, sizing him up. Is there anything about your skills that you can tell me that might help our team?
He's still standing next to the area that we're sitting in, and he just kind of pats the Westar that's on his shoulder. Don't stand in front of me. Get in the way of my shots. Other than that, you should be all right.
Fair enough. I'm no fighter, clearly. My weapons are a little bit more evasive, I guess you could say. But it's good to know that I have someone on my side if things go sideways, which something tells me there's a likelihood of this happening. Are you quite seasoned in missions like these?
Technically, yes. My training has brought me through enough operations to ensure that this simple mission can be taken care of without a hitch.
So it's simple. Good. I was
We're escorting somebody on a ship to a planet. Should be very routine.
That makes me feel better because, I've never worked with them before. So it's all very new, but you put me at ease. Also the drink. I work better this way.
And he just sits there in silence because he doesn't honestly know how to respond.
I wouldn't make it more awkward. I would scan the room. Would we be meeting anyone else inside the Moshi at this point?
Yes. Excuse me. And as you say that, Zova, you're walking through the streets and something that kind of catches your eye are, at this late hour, there are, in this area, people, eating, talking, kind of gossiping, and almost you hear whispers of, do you think it's true? Do you think we're going to war? And, you have some children that are saying, Mommy, is this... And it's almost like the moms are kind of like, shh, it's okay. And they're trying to comfort them and go into that. And again, as you hear kind of like different communication of almost like the news that's going on right now in Coruscant. And as you approach, you remember the coordinates that you were given to meet certain contacts and fellow operatives. You may or may not have worked with these operatives in the past, but you know that they are part of the same grid. And as you enter the Moshi Bar, you see that a collection of individuals are there. One that stands out particularly is an individual with this kind of unique armor to them, but again, they have a couple of different garments and whatnot. And as you see this and you walk in, that there's a WA7 waitress droid that comes up, and it's kind of like creaking. It says, "How may I serve you?" And you hear the bartender in the back saying, again, just kind of cursing and saying, "Damn it, not again." And the droid comes back and he's starting to fiddle and trying to reprogram. You can tell this is not their strong suit, but they're trying to reprogram this droid. You get a sense and feeling that they're trying to program this droid to kind of do, this individual's job, and they can kind of lay back and drink. At least that's the feeling you get. But anyway, you enter in. What would your action be?
First, I'm gonna turn to the person working on the droid. It might just be easier if you do the job yourself instead of programming it to do it for you.
And he looks at you while he's kind of working on this, and he says, "Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a feeling about that." And then he's kind of going, and he stands up, and he's this almost towering individual, and he goes and kind of flicks and tosses his wrench over there and says, "Piece of junk," and goes and starts now cleaning glassware and whatnot, and starts serving customers and individuals. And then they kind of pretty much just, if you want a drink, you can go and ask for one. But other than that, what would you like to do?
I will immediately go for this individual that's standing out. I'll kind of go up next to them and kind of sit at the bar. You know, subtlety might actually do you some good to CT.
If I was subtle, we wouldn't be able to meet.
Have a little faith that we'd be able to figure out our fellow contacts.
Oh, unfortunately, I don't have anything else to keep my subtlety. But please sit. One of your other members have already arrived. We're waiting for one more before I can brief you all, or the team, on our mission.
Well, at least you can follow orders well. And then I'll kind of lean over, wave at Prii. Zova, by the way.
Prii, pleasure.
Nice to meet you. Having a nice drink there.
Oh, paired with rousing conversation, of course.
I can tell.
So what's your story?
I'd rather not say. But just know that I've been with them for a little while now. Not the highest up per se, but somewhere in the middle, perhaps.
You hold position. Interesting. How has your experience been? This is new to me, and I don't mind asking questions, and I don't mind talking. I come from sales.
You definitely tell that you like to ask questions. Been a good experience so far. Gives me a little liberty to move around the galaxy, do some unsavory things if need be. You know, sometimes the law takes its time, and I'd rather not wait on politicians for everything.
Hear, hear. This will definitely be an interesting group. How many of us are there in total? Just this trio here? We have one more?
Just waiting on one more.
More? Oh, interesting. And I wonder what skills they possess in this eclectic group.
And
Can I notice anything about Zova's like build or like anything that they're carrying that stands out to me as like my more military skill set kicking in?
Zova, would there be anything that would essentially be descriptive to the trained eye? Would they notice any of that?
Yeah, so CT would notice that I'm about 6 foot tall, give or take a few inches. Seems to be like lanky, but definitely strong. And there's like these two almost like maybe edges of like a sword or something, like the handles of a sword on their back. That's pretty much it. Very like just, you know, wearing mostly black with like a sort of leather, a brown leather like coat on top.
That answers my question.
And you've noticed that throughout your time here at the bar, excuse me, certain individuals haven't really said anything about, you know, the weapons and all this, because at the end of the day, this location is pretty sketchy. So it's quite unique for individuals who partake in a specific trade, let's just say, to come in here brandishing weapons, blades, you know, blasters, so on and so forth, to the point where one individual kind of looks at Bash and kind of rolls his eyes and is like, ugh, another Mando. And it's just like kind of slugging some drinks and stuff like that, almost like alluring that they've seen people in this type of armor that they call Mandalorians. It's a very unique term into which some of you may or may not know. And as this is being said and done, Kim, you have an earpiece in, and you are communicating with your commanding officer, and you're saying, or rather they're telling you that this is just happening right now in the Senate, that an individual who was given pseudo senatorial power by the name of Jar Jar has just proposed to give the Chancellor emergency powers. And as you hear this, you are essentially being told, and it's almost as this individual is telling you in a, I did not expect this to happen. But as you know, with the grid, there are multiple contingency plans for every situation. Now, as you are approaching, mind you, you're not on your feet. You're not walking at this point. You are in official grid transports, maneuvering through, making it, I mean, the transport itself doesn't look anything special, right? It's not going to stick out in any odd way. But it is essentially reinforced steel in the inside in case something were to occur. The grid, in your experience, has been a source of both mystery but almost amazement, just because of the extent of what they do and how they operate throughout the galaxy. And as you pull through, you see the lettering for the Moshi Bar. And before I go into the other part, any actions on your end?
So before I exit the transport, I, of course, so Kim is, like I said before, she is a Gungan. She is one of the red Gungan that's more tall and lanky. However, her coloring is it's not as bright. She looks a little bit more ashen in color. Her eyes are a very bright orange. I do pull up my hood, and I am wearing not what you would typically see a Gungan wearing, not the natural colors, the natural leathers and cloth and whatnot, but darker gray fibers, and a long cloak over it that I have the hood up on. I kind of am looking around, listening on the earpiece, and just waiting for the transport to stop so that I can exit.
Okay. And as this is happening, it takes a little bit for them to kind of almost like a convoy style. There's two transports, and they pull in front of the Moshi Bar. You're able to get out, but you hear in your earpiece as well that that they will be here essentially when you're ready to deploy. Once you essentially meet, they will be here, and this transport will take you to your destination. And then that's basically the only order until they go silent.
Am I able to speak over it, or is it just I'm listening?
You're able to speak over it.
Will I need to call for it, or will it just be here?
And you hear over the radio that you are able to call for it. You're going to have to, though, once you confirm that everyone's there, you're going to have to confirm and give either a signal for ready or a verbal command saying that you're ready. And then they will alert you through this wrist bracelet that you have. It looks like jewelry, but you know that this is a bit of like a beacon, where you would press it, or it will transmit to you, and it will kind of have this kind of high pitch, or not really high pitch, but this beeping sound, almost like a, and it's very subtle, but still audible enough that you can hear it, and probably someone within like a 5-foot area.
Understood.
And then you hear silence. What are your actions? Do you exit the vehicle or anything else?
Yes, I would exit, and again with my hood up, and I would exit and make my way, unfold myself and make my way to the bar.
Okay. Awesome. As you enter the bar, you see a variety of different individuals, some of them gambling in one corner. You see music, or you hear music being played in another. You see individuals talking and drinking. You see a very tall bartender who's now kind of laughing with some clientele and almost kind of chopping it up with them. And as they're serving drinks, you see 3 individuals. One of them that you know from the silhouette, from their background, or from their personal kind of description. You see another individual who is sitting next to a figure that's still standing, kind of cloaked and robed and whatnot. One of the figures, like I said, you recognize. What is your action?
I would kind of stealthily approach, because I don't want her to see me. I do not want them to see me coming. So just for funsies. So I'll kind of stealth up on them and lean in close. Zova.
Told you not to do that.
Not to do what?
I told you not to do that. That thing, you come up behind me, you're like, hi. Don't do that.
Is this not something that you find agreeable?
No, I told you, no, I do not find it agreeable.
Did I surprise you?
I'll kind of smile. A little bit, okay?
Aha, those were my intentions. Very good.
That was all very cute.
Are these the ones that
Hello.
we've been... Hello.
The introductions are in order, I suppose.
I suppose I ruined the moment, but it was all just
Did I surprise you as well? I was trying to be very sneaky. Hopefully, I surprised everyone.
Your
My pistol's back in my holster. Sorry.
I would comment on your cloak. I saw this before I saw you, and then this little interaction was just very, very charming.
Thank you. I try to be funny sometimes. It doesn't always come across, but I try.
Well, why can't we have a little fun? We're in a bar. There's excitement to be had. I'm looking for a little spice, Well, not a little spice. Let's words, but
Too much spice.
too much.
Not
Too
a good thing.
But yeah, I am Prii, and it's a pleasure to meet you and to be working with you.
Are you sure these are the ones that we're supposed to be working with?
Absolutely sure.
I'm so sorry.
They seem really friendly.
I know it's a little bit, but also you haven't met Bash yet, so That
That
might
one
change.
seems normal, not so friendly.
Yeah.
I'll just look at the two of them. CT 3711 designation Bash. Yeah.
Is it a robot?
You know, Kim, you can just ask people yourself. You don't have to funnel everything through me.
Prii, is it a robot?
Seems like it. I bet money. Do we want to make a wager?
I better not. I might get in trouble.
You will get in trouble.
I better not then.
Well,
I would try to take one of my hands and are you wearing a helmet?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I'm totally like trying to peek up under the helmet to see if there's a person under there.
As you get within, like, you start moving toward me, the West Star is coming off the shoulder and just casually at the hip. Regulation states I'm not allowed to remove any portion of my armor for any reason.
Not a robot. Got it. Okay. Good. There's a person in there. Did you know there's a person in there?
Yeah, I figured probably wasn't going to be a droid.
You never know. You can never be too careful.
I turn toward Prii. Your organization has interesting people.
Agreed. But interesting might be helpful, even if our assumptions of this mission are basic.
Agreed. Now, is there any further questions we have on the mission objective, or are we good to head out? Is there any information you need to know before we leave?
There's something about the Chancellor, and it's nothing important. Nothing too important.
That sounds important.
Yeah, I mean, giving him some power.
What kind of power?
Like power.
Just in general.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not alarming at all. Okay.
We should still probably do something about something.
I mean, we do have the mission. We could possibly go do that. Option.
This is correct. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, just making sure everyone. All right. Just want to make sure. Bash. When you hear about power and you hear that, in the back of your head, you get this almost like kind of thought that something was going to occur in order. It was almost going to trigger part of the mission and to ensure, and that key word of chancellor and power, or those key terms, excuse me, kind of trigger that for you. So that's just some basic information for you just to have in the back of your mind. Kim, when you did that with the helmet and whatnot, you noticed that there was a bit of tension. You noticed that obviously in this individual, when you're about to do that and you've had this communication, your bracelet was vibrating a little bit. But now it seems to be kind of doing that very subtle and then the earpiece goes in and you hear a very distinct voice. And this is someone that you don't necessarily like to interact with all the time. It is a bit of high level, sharp tone to them. And they go, "Agent, now's a good time to start moving. Some things are going in a way that we don't like. And you notice that tone is an individual that you absolutely loathe having to talk to. It is their logistics coordinator as part of the grid. A very uptight human figure, very disciplined, muscular. She is about 5'2", wears a very tight bun, and she, as you know her, is essentially just one no-nonsense individual. From what you can tell, she's been listening to this conversation throughout the whole time, and she is not one for chitter-chatter. She does not like it, and she's kind of pushing that. Whether you like to accept it or ignore it, that is up to you.
We're gonna get a... Sorry. Okay, we're gonna get around to it. I'd like to know who I'm working with. Give me a moment.
And as you do this, she's trying to say something, but it almost seems like your line is cut. Like if you kind of intentionally like just muted her or just aren't even paying attention to anything she's saying. It's almost like it went dark. You kept on doing what you're doing, and you can tell because of the sensitivity of the mission, there's only so much time that they are allowed to talk. X amount of seconds, and then it has to go dark. X amount of seconds to wait for a response, and then it's just completely silent. So right when she was trying to say something, kind of, it almost seems like discipline you, it just cut off. Again, mission silence, and for the sake of the mission.
Better luck next time. Anyway,
who are you
they're trying to tell us that we need to go and it's time sensitive, but we don't have to listen to them. We work on our own time.
I don't think that's entirely accurate, actually.
We're the ones
typically
doing
how
the mission.
missions work.
Yeah, but they are also the ones paying us.
Good point.
We can just get a drink to go. And
Prii wants to get a drink to go. I think that's good. That's a good idea.
And do you call the bartender over?
Yeah.
Okay. So the bartender comes over. Another one? Looking at you, Prii.
Yeah. And extra strong on this one. It needs to last.
Well, seems like you gathered a party here. And starts kind of shaking almost what looks like a martini glass or a martini shaker, and starts kind of adding different colors. You see really beautiful, like pristine blues and teals involved in it. You see that this individual then grabs like some fruit and like starts to like juice the fruit and shakes it again, pours it into it, and he looks at you and says, "You asked for it," and kind of slides you, all that. And if you want to take a sip of it, you're more than welcome to.
So take a sip and give him a credit as a tip.
Very strong. I would say that it's like having it's almost like having a gin and tonic, but more gin than tonic. Anything for you? Kind of like points at all three of you, really.
Zova, are we allowed to drink on the mission?
No, we are not allowed to drink on the mission. I need to speak with Prii about this. No drinking on the mission.
You look like you need a drink.
It's a good thing that we are not on the mission yet. Can we have a drink now anyway, before the mission?
Yeah, see, it's not the mission. It's drink time. It's not the mission time. It's okay.
That's a technicality.
I don't know what you're talking about, but she's got a point.
This individual here. My Gungan friend, please.
starts, and he just at this point starts making a drink very similar to what he's making for Prii. It looks like roll. You know what? I'll say it. Actually, this won't have to be a roll because from your just observing the area, he can make only like 2 or 3 drinks. So he just chooses 2 or 3 drinks unless someone says, oh, they want some sort of ale-like drink. No, that's pretty much 2 or 3 drinks and you're done. Like he doesn't do anything else. So he's just making you a drink. This one, though, is going to have a little different assortment of colors. It's going to have some violets in there, and it's going to have a bit of a burgundy like hint to it, and passes it to you. Try it. Knock your socks off.
I will pick it up, and of course, Gungan, long snout, sniff at it, and I will stick my very long Gungan tongue into it and stir the drink with my tongue.
Okay. It is very much like it tastes very much like cranberry kind of vodka. Like it has that very like it. And again, what you're noticing, this guy does not know how to measure alcohol. He just puts stuff in it, mixes it, shakes it up, and then that's pretty much it. Unless he's pouring like some sort of ale-like drink from like a cask or from some sort of like tap or something like that.
Piusa! I mean, yes, that
Good,
one's
right?
very delicious.
Yeah. I thought that's what that meant, the translation. That's what I heard.
Yep. Sorry, sometimes it slips out.
Well, and at that point, he's like helping the droid kind of is like following him. And again, like at this point, it's almost like this droid is like just helping at this point. Very much took to heart some of the words that was said earlier and just doing his job. Any other actions for the rest of the party? Okay.
I will try to get Zova to taste my drink.
I'll like take the tiniest sip ever, like just barely getting my tongue wet.
Okay.
The second Zova takes a sip, I'll touch my helmet. Mission log. All 3 contacts inebriated.
Not yet. Not yet. Call me back when it's
potential dock of pay. Questionable.
Would you like to try my drink too? Not droid.
No. Unfortunately, once I put on the helmet and the armor, mission
I can get you a straw. Would you like a straw? It could fit up through your helmet.
He opens up one of his bandoliers that should contain a power cell, and there's a straw there, and he closes it.
Would you like me to dump some of this into your cell?
Please don't.
Okay. Maybe after the mission.
There's always hope.
After the mission, possibly, yes. I can't damage any of the equipment that I'm carrying currently, as it is all Republic issued.
And it is damaged far beyond already.
Should we go to your transport?
Okay. We can get started. Let's go.
Okay. So you finish your drinks. You all walk out and you see 2 transports. You see Kim pretty much kind of leading the way, enters the transport. What's the order in which would you all like to enter the same transport, or because there's only 2, would you like to enter all the same one or keep it separate? How would you like to do that?
I'm going right after Kim.
Okay.
I'll follow. I feel like if we're all together, that'll give more time to bond.
Yeah, I don't trust the 3 of these people, so.
You don't want us to be alone together.
It's gonna turn into the limousine where like y'all just start drinking in the back, and I'm like in the other one, just minding my own business.
Listening to smooth
Iron Man
jazz.
started this way, and I'm very concerned.
One transport's actually like Bash, you're like listening to smooth jazz. And then the other one is actually like, you know.
Rave music.
Star Wars techno.
Yeah.
Listen, I listen to the classiest. It's the Tatooine band for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So no, I'll stop myself from continuing to sing. All right. So you enter the transport, and immediately as you enter and you kind of secure any belongings and anything of that nature, you head towards your destination. Bash, any actions for you since you have a little bit more of the mission brief? Or would you like to say that now, or would you like to wait?
No, I will say it now. Let me pull up my note real quick. All right, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, as we're kind of transporting, we're picking up a personnel or a member, third party, and transporting them from Coruscant to Geonosis. Are we stopping at Camino first, or are we going straight to Geonosis? I forgot.
So you are
Please
going.
enlighten me.
You're going straight to. You're going first to Camino.
That's
because specific for what you're remembering is that this specific individual is a high-profile figure. This individual, you were told that a certain event would happen, and that one of 3 figures would be making their way to Camino. You have been given information that, or rather, a playbook, so to speak, for each figure, depending on who the figure is. You've been given instructions on who and how to speak to them, depending on their status, depending on who it is. You've also been told what to, or rather how to address them, what to say, things of that nature. And lastly, you know that the event that Kim mentioned was that kind of trigger point. And because of that, though, you know that you are supposed to take them to 2 individuals. The first one being the Prime Minister. The second one being believe is the head of one of the main facility there. So, with that knowledge, it is your choice to reveal it or to say it at a high level.
Okay, so I'll collect myself again. The mission is we are to collect. Do I know which individual we're collecting, or is it just there's 3 people? I know we're picking up one of them, right? That's it.
It's the latter. You know that 3 potential.
There's 3 individuals that we could be picking up at our pickup location. All of them have separate dockets in which we should be addressing them. And how we should be interacting with them. All, regardless of who it is, we are to transport them through escort to Camino, where they're to meet with the Prime Minister as well as the head technician scientist at the cloning facility in which I was born. From there, we are to escort the individual from Camino to Geonosis, where we are to rendezvous with other members of their organization.
So you are a robot?
Bash, would you like to respond to that?
No.
Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Zova, Prii, and Kim. You hear this, and it confirms what you have all been told and said in your separate debriefs. You were here and meant to not only have a good faith extension to assist in this mission, but the grid likes to know what's going on in the Republic. the announcement of the creation of a army is a bit disturbing, especially since rumors have it that the army has already been created. They don't know when or where and why, but the army has been created, and the top officials at the grid want to know why. You all have your personal missions as well and reasons for going, but you also understand that this is a way to gain information on this particular cloning facility. You know what pretty much everyone else knows about Camino. The Kaminoans are cloners. Damn good ones, if I might say so myself. And they specifically, they have it to such a science. And what you've heard, especially through the different news as the transport is going, you hear in almost like the broadcasting networks that are layered throughout the city about how emergency powers have been given to the Supreme Chancellor and how an army has been essentially approved of, and that war is going to happen. You also hear that certain key figures from the Senate, Senator Amidala, has been captured. The media there is saying that she has been captured alongside other Jedi, and that some Jedi are being deployed out to essentially rescue them and negotiate with them. You're hearing a bunch of different aspects of it. You almost see as you're traveling through, you see different almost quasi interviews with different species. Some of them who are with the CIS, that they're almost justifying their reasoning. Some who are more neutral and kind of giving their political analysis of the situation and what's going on. You see this in a very unique way, all four of you really seeing, and again, just based upon your perspectives, you're given this information and you're noticing that this is really impacting the people. As you're going through and as you now go into one of the lanes, you see how really this news is taking into effect different systems. Representatives of different systems even are saying, well, we don't agree with this, and how can this happen? And those are the systems that are kind of more neutral and now have gone to the CIS, while the majority who are with the Republic are, thanking the Chancellor for their leadership and so on and so forth. And as you are traveling through, any last actions before we get to our first destination or predestination? Okay.
My bravado leaves. If people notice it or not, I don't know. But the drink wore off.
Okay. Would you want to reveal that? Would you intentionally let the bravado kind of leave, or would you kind of hide it?
I think it would be one of those. The transport, I'm assuming, has small windows.
Yeah, smaller windows, almost. You can see. It's large enough where you can kind of lean and look to the side and kind of see all the different neon signs and everything. You can see almost the marketing and the news and all that, everything that's being displayed. It would have to take someone to sit really close to you to kind of see like any reflection from the glass, or to really stare. Like they would have to really be sitting close to you, or rather actively trying to kind of engage with you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm watching the lights pass and thinking of things that are things that I'm trying to get away from.
For sure. as this is happening, you arrive at the location. And you've seen this before. Most people know that this is the Jedi Temple. And it seems like as you are circling and you land into some more of like, it's not necessarily secretive, but it's definitely a launch bay where there's another kind of like ship ready to be boarded. You see, kind of from y'all's experience and from your level of professionalism, you see that there are basic guards. Now, when I mean basic, these are Republic guards that have a blaster and, a pistol, so to speak, and it's almost like they are fresh from basic training, or there's some, very inexperienced, and they're kind of there helping. And you see kind of like certain bags being packed of that nature. Like it looks like these individuals are prepping. They're part of the crew, right? They are part of the crew. They're different crew members kind of making sure things are happening a certain way, and they're kind of fixing and just kind of doing like last inspections. The transports arrive there, or your transports arrive there. Door is kind of automatically opened, and you're given the opportunity to exit. If you choose to exit, I don't know what type of file we can, if you have a specific filing order that you want to go through, that's by all means. But Bash, you will be the first one though out. So you have to be the first one out, but the rest of the party, you can decide that. I'll give y'all that opportunity now if you want to do that.
I'd probably be last since I was the first one getting in and I'm really tall.
Okay.
And so it's going to if I would have to climb over people to basically get out.
I'll probably walk next to Prii, like as we're going out.
Okay.
I'll be behind Bash. I'm not forgetting what he said about the old blasters and protection. So I think I'm going to be close, and also it's like the order of like meeting.
Okay. So as you get off and you kind of go closer to the other ship, the two transports head out. You see two individuals talking. One of them smaller, one of them more average humanoid size. And they almost, they kind of depart with a bit of a bow and a kind of like, you could tell that there's some sort of respect and affection for one another. The individual who has a hood up, you see him from a distance, almost looks like a child from the height. And they're walking slowly, kind of with this approach and a cane. And as they get closer and closer, the hood comes down. And they have longer ears, a green texture to their skin, older. And as they're going, you see this individual say, "Young I'm not," and kind of smiles and looks towards you all and bows and says, "Yoda, my name is," and kind of gives this little chuckle. You get this connotation that even at this, with all this pressing news, he is a very kind and gentle soul. Who would anyone here have some sort of inclination to good-natured things, or like, would you say that you would respond to like a positive energy, like the Force or anything like that, or would you say that that is not something your characters would do? Just want to make sure.
Given my background,
Okay.
probably.
Okay. So, Kim and Zova, you feel this radiant energy, this positive. Kim, you know that this is, and actually Zova, you know that this is part of the Force, this thing that is really central to a lot of, or what has been known and told as central to the universe. It's everywhere. And you know that some people say, and Kim, you would know this, that the Force can be utilized in many different ways. This individual, though, you can tell that has this just positive radiance to them. It's almost like a very peaceful and tranquil radiance that you're not necessarily used to. Based upon your past, you have an experience with another sort of Force-like power. But Zova, you remember immediately this gives you the same warmth in which some of your relatives who first, when you were a child, would joke around and kind of carry you and say, you know, oh, this one is touched by the Force, and would kind of nuzzle you and kind of put you over their shoulder and kind of like, you know, play with you as a child, and very encouraging of that behavior. CT, you see immediately, you recognize that this was one of the individuals from your playbook. Grand Master of the Jedi Order, sits on the council, leads the council essentially in some areas. And immediately your playbook starts. You understand this is the Grand Master. You understand that this individual is now going to go to Camino to essentially inspect the troopers, and most likely will be going to Geonosis with the troopers. Prii, you are seeing this individual, and this individual is kind of smiling at everyone, and with their kind of cane-like, kind of small like cane, the wood, you can tell just from the detail. And again, you're a very observant individual. Almost has like smile lines, a little bit older, but you don't really know how old, but has a lot of smile lines. The wood that they use is very unique. It's almost very beautiful. Their hands are kind of gripping it, and you can tell, Prii, that they're not necessarily relying on it as if it were a hindrance, but rather it's almost because they're of a certain age, they're using it to assist. But you have, again, based upon your skills and observation, this individual can do some things with this cane, because the way they wield it at times, the way this, it's kind of versus a cane that is kind of gripped at the back. This is gripped at the front, almost where they could use it as a weapon if they wanted to. But that's what your observance is, Prii.
The first thing I would do would go straight into a salute, and then ARC Trooper CT 3711 reporting. Grandmaster Yoda, sir.
And he looks at you and says, and he kind of gives you this now a bit of a serious tone. Camino, I am going to. Troops I will inspect. You are here to lead me? And he kind of starts to laugh a little bit and starts to kind of go and starts kind of walking up next to you. And would you like to lead him up to the ship, or would you like to talk to him before? What would you like to do?
That was pretty much all that Bash wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all he
Okay.
wanted to do. So if there's anything anybody else wants to do, go for it.
Yeah, any actions?
Yeah, I would say I'm probably just bowing, Master Jedi. But then I'll kind of like pull back, just as showing my respect.
Be like, should I bow? I look at you both. Oh.
I'll give you like a little, like awkward thumbs up.
Akua.
Okay.
I'm totally like
Doo-doo-doo.
getting my hood up and like just like, yep.
Not trying to be seen or not trying to.
Suspicious, don't be suspicious. Like, yeah. Yeah. Just
Okay.
just kind of like, okay, cool. Yeah, but just try to cover my face up a little bit more and just.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. Okay. So you all board the ship. Doors close. I'm assuming that you kind of all secure yourselves and make sure that everything's good. You see Master Yoda. Again, the chairs are a little bit taller. And he jumps onto the chair. Doesn't necessarily crawl. He kind of just hops. Very, very nimble. Kind of sets himself and goes, comfortable I am. And kind of goes and sets his kind of his cane right next to his chair. Anxious I am. Troops I will see. And then is talking to you, Bash, about that. As the ship is leaving and it's starting to head out into space. And I think time permits. I think actually this is probably a good time to take a little bit of a break.
All right, cool. So if you haven't yet done it, enter GRID, G-R-I-D, in the chat to win one of these beautiful table mat, decorative Star Wars table mats by Nerdy EDC. Whoever we have 3 of these to give away. So the first winner will get first choice. We will give another one away after the break. So we're gonna give one away here in just a second, one after the break, and one at the end of the show. So we are going to go ahead and draw. Let me find it. Okay, all right, we're drawing in 3, 2, 1. Okay, JC Torres 13, congratulations. You have won the giveaway. If you will, please just message me, stiletto_assassin here on Twitch, or you can jump in our Discord and message me there. Let me Discord. So congratulations. You get to just message me and let me know which one you want. I can send you and let you look at them again. But yeah, congratulations. But everyone else, you still have a chance to win when we get back from our break. So see you all. How long break?
Let's do I'm sorry?
Like 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's do about 10 minutes.
Okay, perfect. All right, cool. We'll see y'all back in about 10 minutes.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope that everyone has grabbed their snacks, drinks, everything else, because now this is where the fun begins, if I may quote. Yeah, cheesy quotes, All right. April.
Yes.
Giveaway.
Yes.
We're doing a second drawing now, or?
Yes. Yes. So we did. So congratulations to our first winner. We are now going to draw a second winner. It's still grid in the chat, so we will go ahead and draw that. But don't worry if you don't win this one. Of course, you will still be able to stick around until the end of the stream you will still be able to stick around for the end of the stream to win the very last one by Nerdy EDC. And by the way, if you love these, go check out their Instagram, because you can get these for $20 before shipping. So even if you don't win tonight, go grab one, because we've got plenty of these in stock. So we will roll it in 3, 2, 1. Zora won! Congratulations. So congratulations. Yes. You'll be able to pick out the second one. So congratulations for winning. And everyone, you can still get in on it. Just enter grid in the chat to win the final one. And congratulations to you. So very exciting.
Congratulations. Round of applause. Awesome. Well, everyone stick around, because again, that's the third giveaway at the end. But before I digress, move on. Oh, those are beautiful, by the way. BT dubs. That is really sweet. And you can find Nerdy EDC on Instagram, correct?
Yes, I will drop the link right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you can go see, he makes custom dice trays, like my dice trays for vaults, that I use for vault, and just a lot of other cool ones. Logan has one of his trays. So
I do. If it wasn't like it's literally right outside my reach, outside of grab it right now. It's really they're really beautiful though. Really beautiful though. Check them out for sure.
Yeah, definitely check them out. Link is going to be in the chat. But without further ado, all right, y'all, let's get back into it. So before the break, you all are now, or have headed into space, now are in one of the hyperspace lanes. And as you're traveling through, I want Bash, since you, this is kind of a closer mission to you, I want you to roll a stealth check, but I want you to add, you have 2 options. You can either just take a +3, or you can ask one of your associates to help you. What this is going to be is that you're going to be heading into the helm, and you're going to be ensuring and checking that you have a cloaking device up, all the things that you would do, because again, although this is quasi-secretive, you being in the intelligence, agency and kind of industry, that nothing is ever secret or 100% secret. So go ahead and roll me a stealth check. And if one of you would like to assist, I would allow that. Or you just take the +3, whatever you choose.
I'm going to look down at Prii, since she was the first one and the only one that made meaningful conversation with me the entire time. Because that does matter, even though I didn't talk back. I'll look down at Prii and say, I'm going to ensure everything's in shape up the front of the ship. You want to come with and help? It's not one of my normal expertises.
Tell me where you need me.
And then I'll lead the 2 of us up to the cockpit.
Okay. So as you walk towards that area, you see the pilot kind of like just doing some, kind of normal routine checks, kind of not necessarily needing to steer or do anything because they're in hyperspace. But you're almost kind of going in and ensuring that everything is up to snuff, so to speak. So what did you roll? And then Prii, you can either give Bash, you can give him an advantage, or you can roll yourself. Up to you, Prii. I'll let y'all decide.
Advantage.
Okay, cool. So Bash, you'd have advantage.
Oh, okay, that's good actually, because I rolled a 3. Okay, that's better. I get a human thing too for me. I forgot what it was.
Okay.
Fine, you can roll d4. Oh, it's short or long rest. Okay, so 22 total.
Perfect. Okay, so as you are inspecting, Prii, you notice that something is a little bit off in some of the settings there, so you point it out to Bash, and Bash takes a look and kind of starts changing some of the switches and stuff like that, where you essentially, Bash, from your training, you understand that Republic ships have a certain level of security that is allowed on a ship, right? But depending on how you adjust certain things, certain trackers that may be off or turned off rather, would actually give you more secrecy and more stealth in that travel. So as you're doing that, you're kind of manipulating certain things. It doesn't necessarily throw you off of hyperspace, obviously, but from your training, gives you a bit of a tactical advantage from that stealth perspective. And as you two are up there, again, you're seeing the hyperspace lane. You're seeing the stars passing at such a vibrant speed. Any actions on your end before you join the party or rejoin the party?
Is there anybody else up there with us, or is it just the two of us? And then
you have one individual who is reading a manual and kind of going through, kind of doing like a login checklist, like saying, okay, like, and you can almost hear the muttering, like, okay, this here, click, okay, and grabs like a utensil, writes, like very much like this person, I would say has like sandy brown hair, young kid, probably in his 20s, right? You, again, based upon your perspective, you'd almost see like it's kind of like that adolescent, young adult age range. So they're going in and they're not nervous necessarily, but they're very precise, making sure that everything is just so well done, and almost rechecking their work.
And I noticed that he probably goes back and like flicks a couple of the switches that I've already just like Prii has
trying to. Yeah, they're going to try to. They're like the manual.
Leave it be. Prii and I have already figured everything out that needs to go pretty much, or keep us under the radar before we hit Camino. And as I am starting to flip the switches, like re-flip the switches that he's already flipped, I'll remove my helmet so I can see a little bit better and put it down onto the chair. And so from the back, all you'll just see is fresh cropped black hair. It's like almost down, like super stubbly for the bottom half of it, and then like the top is almost like a like kind of semi-combed over, but not really. It's like it could be if it was a little longer, but whoever cut it just short enough where it's like that weird like sticking up and sticking over, but not quite slicked over. And it has a little bit of helmet hair, but I'll set it down, and yeah, it'll settle down just a little, or I set the helmet down on the chair next to him and start flipping some of the switches, and then I'll turn back to Prii, and you'll see a very young face, maybe probably around early 20s at the oldest. If you want to win your bet, you might as well try to get Kim to vote that I'm a robot. That way you can make some money off her. And I'll keep flicking some of the switches.
So he shows his face and his humor. Pleasure to meet you again.
You as well.
I will, I'm going to take a look, and I note how Bash works. The way that he does things. Natural, obviously not as methodical as our other individual, but just taking a note, and there's a certain a moment of camaraderie between us, which is nice. So I just kind of.
I do the whole like dad thing of like pointing. It's like I need that one flipped, but like I'm right, like my finger's not long enough, so like flip that one, like just little things like that. And before we head back down, I put that one back up.
Okay. Head back, and I'll make a gesture at Kim.
Sorry. At this point, as the two kind of walk in, you see Master Yoda kind of crossing his arms, kind of like this, and just kind of leaning back and breathing through the nose, out the mouth.
Is he asleep? Does he seem like he's asleep to anybody else?
He comes with a stick, but I don't want to poke him with it. It seems rude.
Yeah, you can tell that he's like dozed off a little bit, and he's there, and he's just kind of like resting his eyes. He's just really trying. From your perspective, you don't know if he's just like older individual who's taking a nap because they're older and they just take naps, or if they're just trying to rest before, trying to grab some sleep before. You don't know, but he's kind of sleeping, kind of snoring, ever so subtly, not too deep of a snore. And you're all gathered there, and again, the ship is still moving. Any actions for the party?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna take like one of the like swords off my back and like not with the pointy end, mind you.
Like, oh damn.
Yeah, this is just completely changing canon. But no, I'm gonna just like slowly move to like poke him and be like, is he good?
Okay.
This is incredible.
So you poke him, or you attempt to poke him?
Yeah, I attempt to poke him.
Okay. You know what? I'm not going to even. Let's not roll. Let's do this. So as you poke him, or as you try to poke, where are you aiming? Like the feet? Like where? What part?
Yeah, we'll go like with the feet, like just trying to tap him.
Now, mind you, his feet are dangling a little bit because, just the stature of this individual. So you poke him and he kind of like giggles. Do you poke him again?
Yeah, probably a little harder this time.
Okay. His toes kind of start to wiggle, and he kind of like and then he kind of like wakes up and looks at the sword. He's like, dream I thought I was. And, he's kind of like he kind of like denotes like you're poking with a sharp object to his feet. And that concept for you is like, that should be a little bit of some sort of little pain or something, right? And he felt it as if it were a little tickle, as if he were dreaming and something were occurring in the dream where he was being tickled or something like that. You start to understand that this individual has many layers of intensity, layers of kind of, quirkiness, of also layers of intensity. And he looks at you and kind of starts to chuckle a little bit. Touched by the Force you are. And kind of giggles and looks to Kim and says, you too, touched by the Force. Different, but nevertheless touched. And you see a quirkier side to him when he even says that. It's almost like he's trying to keep his cool and trying to maintain this sort of composure. From your perspective, Prii, you see this and recognize this as someone who's a teacher, an instructor, someone who's used to, who's had years of training individuals and looking at folks with a different perspective. One in which, you know, when you tell a child everything's going to be okay, when you're not sure, you kind of get that perspective that even with this wise individual, they are kind of trying to break the tension and trying to make things a little bit easy, trying to make things a little bit playful, and really just to try to melt the tension. Bash, you're kind of just in mission mode. So you see all this, and you're kind of just like, all right, well, this is just a mission. Prii, what are your thoughts on that? Did you react or respond to that?
I think it's something that I would just kind of pocket away for later.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with the Force. What is it? Is it the vibe that I get? Because I will say, because Twi'leks do age a little bit differently, so I'm gonna put her at about like 50, about 40, 50.
Okay.
So she, well, not Force sensitive or touched, you know, in this case, just can get a good read on people. And I'd say from being in a very social occupation, like, you know who you can sell to and who you can't. And I feel like this being would not be having my, like, trying to hawk a space ShamWow. You know what I mean? Like, it would be very
Be a little hard.
Yeah, be a little bit harder, and I would respect him trying to lighten things. I would feel that and enjoy that, the reaction from Zova and Kim.
Well, and as you're noticing that, I will say this, it almost seems like, you know, this Jedi Master has very simple clothing, very much just lives a simple life. Even at this high state, you've noticed that, and you've interacted with individuals who are of different positions throughout the galaxy, and based with their status, they have clothing or attire that matches it, you know, with royal garb, with rings and jewelry, with even an attitude, right? A persona that is almost too much. In this case, in this individual, not so much. This is probably the first time where you've actually seen an authentic individual who doesn't take themselves seriously in that regard, doesn't, you know, they know that they have a certain position of power. But from your experience, this is actually probably the first time where you've seen someone this genuine, almost quirky and childlike, very much. You would see, like, it's almost like an innocence to them, but also a mystery of their, like, of them as an individual. So you notice that. And Bash, one thing you notice though is throughout all this conversation that's being had, you hear the captain and you hear certain designation, almost like asking for a clearance. Welcome all to Kamino. You enter from hyperspace and you don't even realize that you've entered because you've had this conversation. You've been noticing this individual. You've almost, you know, it's almost as if the space around you has almost kind of like time froze and all this is happening. But you enter into Kamino. If you were to observe outside, you would see you would see constant raining, thunderstorming, waves kind of crashing into the facility, a very clean and crisp area. You can see it's very, almost the architecture is very unique in its style. Zova, you being from, I believe, the Outer Rim territories, even you are surprised, and you've seen a lot of things in the Outer Rim. You're surprised at this type of architecture. Kim, you being from an area where water is predominant, you kind of are like, this is pretty cool. Very much, you're kind of used to it though. Water, it's not a big deal. But the way the architecture is kind of set, it would draw someone to that. You all enter, and you make your landing pretty effortlessly. Thankfully, CT, you think that no one has tracked you. And that's, again, something that you and Prii believe, that no one is tracking you at the moment. And you are now ready to depart, or to offboard to the ship. As you leave, would you like to have a marching order, or would you like to choose the same marching order as last time?
Probably the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Bash and Grandmaster Yoda will be side by side, and the rest of the party. And as you leave the ship, you have, and Bash, you know them, but you have two individuals with a very unique build and stature, kind of very tall, almost like a very angelic flow to their movements as they walk, very not slow in the sense of speed, but almost very as if they were on air, right? They're kind of moving and then swaying in this way. And the one, both of them actually bow to Grandmaster Yoda. Yoda then bows. And one says, "It is very nice to meet you." Even the wording is almost drawn out. "I am Tuan Wei, and this is Prime Minister Lama Su." And then the Prime Minister says, "It is very nice to meet you." And then they both bow again. And Yoda seems to bow, but you see a different connotation now as Grandmaster. "A pleasure to meet you, it is. Now, I hear troops are at the ready." And kind of has this, a little bit of a, I would say, for those who hear this, you hear as if he's not doubting it, but it's like, now I'm going to investigate. I'm going to actually start to passively see the situation. And Tuan Wei says, "Oh yes, we have many units at the ready to deploy, with 1 million more waiting." And you see them now kind of talking the logistics. Bash, Prii, Zova, Kim, you're all following, and kind of like you could tell like there's a bit of a separation as Yoda's kind of like, walking with them, and they're being very respectful of walking at his pace, especially because he's a bit tinier. They're just being extremely respectful. You can tell by the gestures of the Prime Minister that he's touring the facility, kind of talking to Yoda about all the different aspects of the cloning facility. He describes about how the clones were raised. And Bash, you obviously experienced this. And the way they're talking about it now, the Prime Minister is even going into a little bit more detail of the different rankings, what the different colors on the shoulder mean, what they signify, the helmets, everything, the armor that they use, the different suppliers that they use. It's almost like it's almost like a sales pitch. And Prii, you notice this from your line of work. This is a bit of a sales pitch, right? Saying that, okay, are you going to confirm this deal based upon the weaponry they use, the type of training, everything that is going on at the moment. Kim, you also are seeing this, and you're noticing that this facility is huge, and you see different units getting ready as if they have orders to essentially go, and troops are grabbing helmets, they're checking their rifles, inspecting them, they're racking the slide and or putting in a clip for their blasters and whatnot, and they're doing all that. Zova, you see something really cool, and it's a group of individuals. One of them has a vibro dagger and is kind of flipping it and like putting it, and they kind of all have these different helmets a little bit more. Some of the helmets have like a little strip right here for the helmet, and that's kind of like standard issue. Some of them have more boxier aesthetics to them. Some of them look like Bash and his armor and the different, shoulder, the pauldrons and whatnot. But one of them catches your eye with the vibro dagger, and going in, they have a bit more of like longer black hair, like kind of like a mullet type. And then you have a bigger guy. I mean, he's like huge. I mean, like just ripped, muscles upon muscles. And he's like playing around with different individuals. One of them has more of like a long distance rifle. You have all these different individuals. One of them has like, this kind of like computer that they're kind of doing things, and they're going off. They look very different based upon their armor, and they're going off in a different direction. You see others that are in pods of 4, groups of 4 that again have quasi similar, but in kind of more regular standard uniforms, some of them with greens and blacks and yellows, and they have backpacks on them, and they're kind of going forward and they're kind of doing their own thing. So you kind of observe all that. Bash, a lot of these individuals, that the different connotations, the ranks and whatnot, and you get something in your earpiece, Bash, and you hear CT-3711 report to the main hall, and then it's kind of like going in, and you know where the main hall is, but then you hear another pause and says, grid operatives, clearance, green, and then kind of like you now have the go ahead where the grid operatives can go with you to where you need to report. Actions for the party.
Yes, sir. And then I'll turn to the rest. At this time, my brothers and commanding officers seem fit to go to the main hall. If you wish to accompany us. If not, you can roam around the facility.
Do you think any of us need to keep an eye out on the Jedi? Or do you think he'll be okay?
At this time, I don't think excuse me, I don't think we got him here until it's time to take him to Geonosis. I think he's all right. And like if an ARC trooper and a fellow ARC trooper passes by, I'll do like a quick Roman handshake.
Yeah.
Is this where you were built?
Yes. All CT units were built here.
All that aside, this is an immaculate place, one that I never thought I would see. I'm just looking out at everything. Definitely a whole nother world, and again, a little dip in mood to something more somber.
To you, Prii, it looks sterile. To everyone, really, this looks sterile. Like, this looks like almost, it kind of gives you that very clean, very crisp type of facility where you get a sense that these Kaminoans are extremely methodical in their practices. They know exactly what to do. They know how to do things. Prii, you notice that everyone kind of looks like Bash in some connotation. They have maybe like you have certain troopers that all look the same, and they have some sort of individuality, but very few. A lot of those troopers are, you know, if they have the same rank as Bash, they have maybe a little bit individuality. But other than that, everyone pretty much looks the same. And everyone would notice that too. Everyone would notice that they have a very uniform type of look to them.
I think I would kind of take not an aside, but just to get a good look at Bash, kind of make some like eye contact. One of them. I had my suspicions, but I have to say you are one of the reasons that I'm here today.
What do you mean by that?
I didn't leave Ryloth because business was bad. I left because the Confederacy was attempting to take my land until you and your siblings came to help. I wasn't too fond of the Republic before then. I was in Lesu and snuck away on a storage crate. So, thank you.
It's our job. Thank you. I don't know why I just said thank you. It's what we're built for, what we're bred for.
I don't hear the words thank you a lot, so I guess this is just the time for it. Let's look around the facility. Really is awesome.
Like, point to the one unit of ARC troopers. Those guys are the best. It's Captain Fordo, and some of the others. Just wave high.
And what is your ranking? What is your... I know so little about you. I don't know in context with all of these others. Just kind of scan around what was described before, taking everybody in.
Yeah, and I'll take a minute because, like, I imagine we're going through, so we see, like, I'll be like, these are the rank and file, and I'll like point out the color, and then when I point back at Fordo, I obviously call him Captain again. And so the red on the armor means Captain. Any that have blue are Lieutenant, and then any that have green are Sergeant, and then yellow is Commander. But that you maybe see one Commander sticking out. There aren't very many at this point. And then the rest are just plain white, no armor color yet.
And the one commander that you do see, you recognize, and everyone has a certain reverence to them. And this one goes by Cody. And you see that they are... It's almost like this commander generates respect. Kim, Zova, Prii. You can tell that this individual, you know, and you've been hearing this term a lot, where they'll say, you know, they'll salute, you know, they'll salute, and then they salute, and then Commander Cody salutes back, and it's almost like this awe and respect. And at this point, he's looking at everyone else's, excuse me, at everyone else's rifles, double checking them, kind of helping some of the, you know, takes a bit of a leadership role within that. And you see that kind of in passing when Bash kind of points that out, and you continue walking to where you're going. any observations that you would like to make or any other actions for the rest of the party.
I think while that exchange is happening, I'm gonna kind of like lean over to Kim. I don't like this.
There are a lot of people here.
There's an army. What do we need an army of this size for?
And if it's my understanding, they were made here.
Made soldiers to be in a war? What? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that the Jedi would be coming here at all.
Or that they would think that this would be okay.
I don't know what to make of this, but I don't think it's anything good.
Am I able to, so anything that I'm saying, anything that we are doing, it's being broadcast through my headset? Or is that something I have to actively have broadcasting?
I would say that you would have to actively broadcast that. So you would actually have to initiate that conversation and broadcast it. You think it's probably being recorded, but let's be honest, from your perspective and your knowledge of it, the grid records everything. And do they use all of it? No. Do they have the ability to extract it whenever they want? Yeah.
Okay.
So you pretty much say whatever you want.
Okay.
And do whatever you want.
I was just curious if they could hear and yeah.
Oh no, they know that you, Kim, this is one of the reasons why the grid kind of sought you out, and it was kind of fate, so to speak.
Right.
They look for operatives like you.
Okay.
They want operatives that are going to test and going to question things.
Right.
So the same for you. But your work with blades, something that often it takes too much to train someone of that skill. But again, based upon your perspectives and backgrounds, you're having this conversation and you walk in and you see these sliding doors quickly slide open. And then you enter, they slide close. It's kind of dark. And you see commanding officer for Bash. They're in a kind of a more officer's uniform with the collar up to the neck right here, clean shaven, high and tight haircut. I mean, you talked about how there was like a little bit of a comb, and there's nothing. It's like just high with a very tight fade, almost skin. And you see different medals here, not yet for servitude, but more for rank. And Kim, you see a hologram of that kind of pesky, annoying intelligence officer that was talking to you earlier. Cora is, again, tight ponytail. You know, tied very much right here, like my fist right here. Also in an officer's uniform. This officer's uniform, though, is a little more of like a royal blue versus, to contrast, the kind of white and I would even almost say that there's white and hints of like black and red to it. And you see that this hologram's up. Cora kind of has this very serious connotation and is looking at all four of you. And Bash is commanding officer. Bash, do you salute him, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'll go straight into a salute and
Okay.
just wait for any sort of response from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he'll salute you back, and then he will say, "Adi, soldier," and then from there, he'll start to say, "As you all know, the grid and us are working together. We have agreed upon stage 2, which you are now being briefed on. Cora." Thank you, man. You stick your tongue out?
Oh yeah, like I totally do a quick and then back in.
This individual looks at you, looks back to Cora, and then Cora just is kind of like, as he just mentioned, we are working together for this next phase. As you probably heard, the Chancellor has been given emergency powers, but what you probably haven't heard is that we are assembling this army and deploying immediately to Geonosis. You all might think, where does this leave us as the grid? Well, we need to know everything. We also have some information that both the clones and ourselves will share. CT-3711 designation Bash. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I like this one. Be more like him. Prii, Zova, Kim. You are to escort CT-3711 designation Bash to CIS Command Center on Geonosis. You are to extract data from the command center, and you are supposed to retrieve it back to grid. Nothing more, nothing less. Try not to be seen. You are given full authority to use deadly force. However, you know the drill. If you are down, do not get captured. We will not claim any sort of alliance or leniency in that regard. You have your orders. Also, destroy anything and everything left in regards to copies. We do not need to have grid, or we're not here to have a trail of grid or leading to the grid. Questions? Yes, Kim.
What exactly do we need an army for?
That, unfortunately, will not be discussed here. We can discuss that at headquarters. This is new to me as well. We must be patient. We must follow protocol. Yes, Kim.
Why do they all kind of look the same?
That's what cloning is, Kim. You clone someone and you make thousands, in this case, hundreds of thousands of copies. The Republic's paying for this.
Are they droids underneath?
And at this point,
No,
The
and you owe me money.
I'm sorry?
I would tell Kim, no, and you owe me credits.
Damn. I will transfer the credits.
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about how many credits after.
It was 10. It was 10. We designated it was 10 credits.
Okay. 10 credits. Okay. I'll take your word for it. So, you see this, and you see, coming into like the hologram, you see another individual. She is kind of contrasting Cora. She has black hair that is tied in a ponytail, but it's longer, probably up to like past the neck a little bit, with very thin, kind of like cat eye, kind of like that cat eye glasses, almost as if they were like a secretary or an assistant, and saying, Commander Cora, we just have word. And it kind of starts going into a little bit of a hush hush as Commander Cora kind of leans. She kind of and she does kind of this move right here, the very frustrated grabbing, pinching the top of the bridge of the nose right here, and just sighing and saying, I must go. But consider this. Kim, behave, please. Zova, Prii, I trust you in your work. Prii, you will be assisting Bash in this regards. You know what to do. Do what must be done. Any further questions? No? CT-3711. Yes.
Ma'am, all due respect, our trooper unit can do the job that you've just assigned myself and the three of them pretty effectively. Why not just send a whole unit?
To be quite honest with you, CT-3711, I do not trust these clones. With Kim, this will be the first time, and Kim, don't forget this. Don't forget that I was, how do you say, nice? I agree with her for one point. I don't know why that there's this army. CT-3711, I don't understand. And that is what I am here to do, to understand. I do not doubt your training, your programming, rather. But there are some things that I would rather leave to certain individuals that were not bred or manufactured. Now I trust and know that you will do your job. Your commanding officer has guaranteed it. However, the grid acts independently of you clones. So, with that being said, do you have any other questions, CT-3711?
I'm the highest ranking member of this team, correct?
Yes, of the team, yes, correct.
Cool, that is all.
Yes, Kim?
Does that mean I have to do what he says?
Kind of turns to you and is kind of like leaning as if trying to tell you a secret, but looking straight at Bash. I hired you for a reason, Kim. You do what you do, you know best. That goes for you, Zova, Prii, you as well. Anything, and I mean anything suspicious, you report to me. Commander Cora, out. Hologram goes, zoop, disappears. Any actions? Any questions? Okay.
So Bash has his helmet off?
No, Bash has not taken his helmet off the entire time that you've seen him.
So can you think for yourself then? Or do you all think collectively like a hive?
I can think independently. However, I also take orders and take those orders seriously. Our troopers are given a certain amount of freedom within the bounds of the orders that they've been given. So, with this mission objective in particular, since it's very broad, the terms that the ways that we can approach it are also very broad.
So you can kind of think for yourself then.
Can you kind of think for yourself?
It depends on what we're thinking about.
There we go. And I'll turn and just like look toward my commander, give him a nod, and turn and like walk toward where the ships are.
Okay. Actions for the party. What would you all like to do? As
Yes.
Bash is exiting.
Yeah, I guess I'm following after Bash.
You don't
Okay.
have to follow. Just being broody.
I will kind of like lean into Zova after Bash starts walking off and we are following, but we're a little ways behind. Probably Prii can hear this too. I don't have any objections with killing him if the need be. He seems very dangerous.
Okay.
I think he has defective programming.
Oh my god. Tim, our first instinct should not be to just kill people. That's more like a plan C, I would say. That's like when shit goes really bad.
Right now, are we still on plan A or have we moved to plan B?
Yeah, plan A is we don't kill Bash. And that is also plan B, is we don't kill Bash.
But once we hit to plan C,
Which we will not get to.
but if we do,
We will not get to plan C.
Prii will help me kill Bash. Okay.
Prii, do not help Kim kill Bash.
I will not. Not really my style. Yeah, I'm focusing heavy on a plan A and B, so you don't have to even get to C. So
I think Bash would appreciate that.
Same. But I like that you had it in you because I didn't know, but knowing that is it's good to know. I guess.
I take my job very seriously.
Is that why you were doing the thing with the tongue? Whenever you
She
were talking?
deserved it.
Okay.
She deserved it. You know this. You know our history.
I'm not at liberty to say whether she deserved it, but definitely nodding, yeah, definitely deserved that.
Okay. So you go out, I'm assuming to follow Bash, correct? Okay. As you're doing this, you see Bash, inspecting his weapons. Again, just kind of meticulous about that. At this point, you start seeing these huge ships. They almost look like arrowheads, being essentially troops are entering, vehicles are entering. There's all sorts of show of force that's entering into these massive multiple ships. And as you're getting into a transport, you're going into a separate transport, smaller, not anything that resembles the ships that are kind of leaving. And you see these leaving of ships like en masse. They're kind of like following this like strategic line upwards, and they're heading out. And Bash is packing his stuff and putting it into the transport and whatnot. You don't see anyone specific there, except for your little friend, Yoda, who is now talking with some of the other commanders, some of the clone commanders that you saw. And you see him boarding what looks to be some sort of gunship. And that gunship is kind of flying into, like, kind of like maneuvering and kind of like a parking, so to speak, into the ship. And again, that kind of catches you in the corner of your eye. You could tell that whatever business was conducted or whatever talks and negotiations were conducted during this time that you were meeting. And as you're doing that, you enter into this transport ship. You see the other transport that you got into. They're packing up and they're leaving. They're pretty much saying, "All right, our job's done. You know, have a good one." This ship has some clones wearing their helmets, and they are definitely more, a little bit well trained, or rather better trained, than this past ship that you were in. Everything is like very standard. It is very efficient, very effective. They're calling out different numbers, and they all have that kind of gritty voice, very similar to the commanding officer, very similar to Bash. Again, another sign and representation that everyone is pretty uniform in this regard. Last actions before you depart.
Can I see what Bash is loading into? Like,
Bash, would you be hiding it, or would you freely show what you would be loading?
Oh, equipment wise, I mean, I'm just using, so like my rifle is a one of the two rifles. There are a couple rifles next to me, but I end up like going through them, and I pick up the Westar M5, and like I go through, check it, take a power cell out, put it in, get it all going. It has a like almost like a sniper scope, but not really on the top of it. So I'm like going through and calibrating that. Am I the highest ranking of the clones, or that are going to be in our shuttle, or is there
Yes.
are there other? Okay, so I'd be like turning around and like yelling, not yelling, but like kind of like nipping at the other clones who are like having more banter than actual conversation, getting a little bit more of like, you can't see it on my face because I'm wearing a helmet, but like it's game time. Like I'm ready to go. It's time to like,
Get stuff done.
time to get some. Yeah. The bag doesn't really have anything. It maybe has like some demolitions for whatever, like for whoever the demolition specialist is on the team. But other than that, not a lot.
Okay. Kim, does that help answer? Would you like to ask anything? Require anything?
no, just watching, observing.
Zova, what would you like to do?
I'll probably kind of like sit back, just like counting the amount of clones like in the ship, just kind of like with a very like concerned look.
Concerned for their well-being, or concerned about the situation?
About the situation.
Okay. Are you allowing folks to see that, or are you hiding that type of facial expression?
Definitely allowing it. Yeah. I'm not trying to hide it at all.
Okay. Which then leaves it up to Kim, Bash, and Prii. You see Zova kind of having this concerned look about them. Actions for you, or responses or reactions, rather.
Speak your mind.
Just seems odd, right? The amounts of clones there is. Why have an army if you're not even fighting a war? with the amount of clones that there is, this had to have been in the works for a while, right?
This facility, and clearly they are immaculate in design. I'd say mini cycles that they have been working on this project, facility, community. There's definitely a structure here that doesn't seem mindless, and that intrigues me. I understand your hesitation, but if there's anything else, any other thoughts that you have, I'm open to hearing them.
I think I'll have more to say once we actually see them in action.
Seems very sad to me. They are not machines. They are built like machines. Are they allowed to have lives outside of this?
I don't know if they want lives outside of this.
Weird. That's concerning.
To only know what you were made for. To only serve the purpose for what we're made for. That's very disturbing indeed.
An unfortunate truth for some people. Some of my siblings have been sold off to serve a purpose. And that is their lot, unfortunate as it is.
By the way, you look different.
As the drink worn off, is my honesty showing?
Learn something new every day.
When we get back to work, I'll be back to my effervescent self, I'm sure. Though I don't think Zova exactly misses that.
Is that
Yeah, after the mission.
I know you
Friends.
enjoy a good drink, so if there's a good cantina nearby, I will restore myself, and drinks will be on me.
You can hear in the background, because Bash did not care to get involved in this conversation, but you hear CT 2713. If in the course of our mission something happens to myself, Zova Kol shall be in charge of this mission.
Plan C, and you'll be in charge.
Kim, look.
Plan A.
Just in case.
We're not doing plan C. Okay? I need you to promise me you're not going to do plan C.
I will not carry out Plan C until
No.
appropriate time.
No until. I need you. Repeat after me. I.
Misa.
I can't do this. I can't do this.
I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that the entire damn one shot.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
It seemed like the perfect time to do it, so I.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I.
Misa.
Insert name here.
Insert.
No. You say your name, as in Kim.
insert name here.
Okay, it's fine. It's good enough. It's good enough. Just gonna do the kind of like, oh my god, oh my god. We really
Will
need to have
not
Mm-hmm.
carry out Plan C
Period.
until after
Nope,
A
nope.
have been exhausted.
Prii, can you come get the ship ready for departure?
Yep, on it.
I'm gonna call out to Bash. Do you have anything for a headache by any chance on the ship?
CT 1325 is the squad medic. Let's talk to him.
Give me everything you have, please.
Kind of looks at you.
Okay, within reason. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
What seems to be your problem? And then kind of like the doors kind of close and the ship starts to depart Camino. Again, very typical. You head into space. And you see all these ships kind of waiting there. They've been kind of like, you can probably tell they've kind of like all gathered forces, and like a slingshot just going boom, 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 boom. And yours, you see the lights go and you slingshot forward. And that, my friends, is where we'll leave it off for tonight. On your way to Geonosis, and that will be discovered in part 2 of this one shot, because this will be a part 2. It's gonna be a lot. So holy cow, thank you so much. Thank you all who are viewing this. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much to this awesome group of players. Thank you so much. I just really appreciate the opportunity to play with y'all. I do know that we have the 3rd chance for the giveaway. Oh, and I like the Yoda.
Oh yeah. I had Chewy at the start with coffee, and then I went and got a different drink with Yoda.
This is the way.
This is totally the way. So the first 2 winners have made their choices. So last winner gets the little Stormtrooper one. So if you have not yet, enter grid in the chat. And I guess we'll go around and do player outros one more time. Give them a chance to enter grid in the chat. So take it away.
So yeah, Prii, we'll start with you for a player outro. What?
Where can we find you?
Yeah, where can we find you?
You can find me Instagram mostly, but also on Twitter, Sara Moni Cosplay. This was just a really cool first installment. Thank you guys for watching and being entertained, because we were definitely loving it. Let's see. If you like Star Wars cosplay, obviously I have some of that, and I do a lot of local RPG too. Supporting my local plug for Laughing Moon. That has been a long time growing, and the creator's been putting many years into it. So definitely check it out if you like narrative-based, much like what we were doing, games and high fantasy. Highly recommend. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. CT3711 designation Bash. AKA.
Yeah. First off, thank you, Brian, for an amazing one-shot, or two-shot, or whatever this is going to be. This is his first time DMing, guys, so, please give him a hand.
Yeah, this is my first time
DMing live. I'm sorry, he's DMing live. But live. So,
I was going to say, the years in the academy.
I think your academy, your mom and dad, your dog, your wife, your unborn child, all the good stuff. But yeah, so I'm Logan Hanley. You guys can find me on Instagram and the Twitter at DM_screening. You guys can also find me here on Twitch under the same moniker. On every other Tuesday night, I run the Ecrium Expeditions, which is a 5e homebrew campaign set in my world, the lands of Ecrium. Other than that, I collaborate with people from Dragon Rock. I do some stuff here on the Initiative Order. Yeah, so follow if you want. Hopefully you do. Thanks for watching.
Zova Kol, my friend, where can folks find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, again, LOVDAYS_. I talk everything from politics to Star Wars to just tabletop stuff in general. So if you want to deal with that, definitely give me a follow. But yeah, I want to say thank you to all of you guys that I got to play with. It was so amazing. Thank you for making my first stream just top tier. This was so much fun, and I'm so excited for the second part. Also, hi Mom and Dad if you're still watching.
Hey, Mom and Dad. They're now the stream's Mom and Dad.
I love that.
You have a lot more kids. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
You just adopted everyone. Anyway, Kim, last but not least, April, where can folks find you?
Okay, my name is April Hill. You can find me at stiletto_assassin on Instagram and stiletto DM on Twitter. And here on the Initiative Order every Monday night, where I am the overseer for a Fallout campaign featuring the new 2D20 system by Modifius. We are taking a break this Monday, however, but you can catch us every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific here on the Initiative Order. This week we are taking a break, so this Monday will be a break. But then after that, we start our one-on-one character origin stories, because this campaign is almost over. So really excited about that. So be sure to tune in starting next Monday for that. And yeah, I get to play with all my friends here on the Initiative Order, other places too. I've seen a bunch of people in chat, so thank you all for coming in. Really appreciate seeing you all here. So yeah.
Well, thank you all for hanging out with us and just allowing me to tell this story. Again, my name is Brian, aka The Bearded Nerd. You can find me on Instagram as The Bearded Nerd Media. You can really find me, that's probably the best place to just find me, because I'm everywhere and nowhere. No, I'm just kidding. Like the grid. No, but I am really thankful, y'all, for letting me DM. This is my first time DMing on a stream. So this was just a fantastic way to not only hang out and DM, but to really tell a story with friends. Because at the end of the day, this is what gaming is all about. So again, thank you all. I appreciate it. As I always like to say, be kind and compassionate to everyone, y'all. Crazy times, but we can get through this together. Love y'all. Be safe. And as always, folks, keep gaming. Bye.
Oh, we are gonna do one more thing.
Giveaway.
Final winner.
Oh!
Right, y'all ready?
Almost
And
forgot.
Do we need to give a drum roll?
and here we go. Wait, roll it. Who's gonna win it? Good fork, man! Two local, like people local close to me. Oh no. Yeah, so good for yeah, because you're closer in this area. So congratulations, good forks. Good
Congratulations.
yeah, you have won the final art table mat with the Stormtrooper on it. So congratulations. Hit me up here on Twitch or on the Discord, because I know you're on our Discord. So yeah, congratulations.
Well, congratulations again. Thank you so much. Love y'all. Have a good one. Bye.